I'm Naga Nick, and this is Bible Study. Today, we're going to be talking about after the resurrection and who Christ appeared to. This story is called Peter and the Risen Lord. After this, the disciples went to Galilee. And Peter said, "I'm going fishing." Thomas, Nathanael, James, and John, and 2 others followed. But they caught nothing all night. As they neared the shore in the morning, they saw one standing there. He called, "Lads, have you anything to eat?" "No," they shouted back. "Then cast your net over to the right side of the ship." They did so and found it full of fish. John whispered to Peter, "It is the Lord." Peter tucked his robe into his belt and jumped into the water. The others came up in the boat. Fish was laid on the fire, bread ready. "Bring some of the fish you have caught," said Yahshua. Peter obeyed him. Then Yahshua invited them to eat. None dared ask him who he was, knowing it was the Lord. Then Yahshua gave them the bread and the fish. After they had eaten, Yahshua and Peter walked along the seashore. "Peter," said Yahshua, "do you love me more than the others?" "Yes, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee," said Peter. "Then feed my lambs." Again, Yahshua asked, "Peter, do you love me?" "Lord, thou knowest that I love thee." "Then feed my sheep." Later, Yahshua asked a 3rd time, "Do you indeed love me?" Peter cried, "Lord, thou knowest all. Thou knowest that I truly love thee." "Feed my sheep," Yahshua said again. "Then, when you are old, you will be carried where you do not want to go." Now John was following them, and Peter turned around, saw him, and asked Yahshua, "Lord, what will happen to him?" Yahshua checked Peter's curiosity with the reply, "If I want him to wait until I come back, what is that to you? Make sure you follow me yourself." So there's a lot to unpack here. Is John still alive? Because there is no record of his death. There is no burial site. There is no mention of his death in the Bible, in the scriptures, or really any text. There are only rumors and presumptions. And for the casting your net on the right side. So, Yahshua was teaching them in parables, metaphors, similes, adjectives, nouns, verbs. He showed them through multiple different acts, how one thing is related to another. The deeper meaning in things are always there. So if your mind was a ship and your left side was logic and your right side was creativity, and Yahshua told you to cast your nets on the right side, and behold, you catch fish. Be your creative self. And guess what? You will be abundant. If you go the logic route, no matter how hard you try, logically speaking, you will never do as well as the creative side. This is why you have two hemispheres. Now, when Moses parted the Red Sea, what is a brain if not a sea? I mean, it literally looks like waves, right? But what does it look like inside the body? A Red Sea. So if Moses parted the Red Sea, creating two hemispheres, so that he could walk the path God meant for him, what do you think that does? There's a lot of scripture that can literally map the body. Almost the entire Bible maps the body. And when I say almost, I mean almost completely. It's like Leonardo da Vinci himself had layered a cadaver in the pages of the Bible meticulously. But these scriptures did not come from one source. It came from many different times, many different places, and they all had one thing in common. They all studied the body. They studied spirituality, an inner circle of you, if you will, of heightened perspectives and knowledge. There's even numerology in the Bible. Numerology. The study of numbers and frequencies of numbers. Literally, the Bible is like a basic understanding of the world and yourself. When you apply these mystic arts, let's say, to the Bible and really broaden your perspective to almost the degree of, I'm not going in this with a religious outlook. I'm going in this for a understanding and knowledge and study and try to pull every meaning possible out of it. I mean, I think I've heard the Sermon on the Mount preached at least 15 different ways with 15 different meanings. But I've never heard it preached in the way of energy. No, never. I've never heard the Bible be preached from an energetic standpoint that every human being will have to go through, at least if they want to raise their vibration and consciousness. Because that's exactly what it is. You will face these same trials. These are trials. The Bible is telling you the trials that you will face before you face them. People go into the Bible thinking this is about Yahshua HaMashiach. You know, this is about, you know, the Son of Man. This ain't about me. You think so? Do you know what Son of Man means? It means to be a human, a man of mankind, or mankind. A son of a man. The son of Adam, the daughter of Eve. Means the same thing. It just means you're a man. It does talk about you. It is you. And the more you believe that the Bible is telling you about something outside of yourself, the more you're asleep to the reality of the facts, you know? But it takes a creative mind to awaken these facts, and it's actually logical. But you can't see it through logic. And that's spirit for you. You don't understand the science until after you take leaps of faith. Only then will you understand it and actually be able to document it. You see something beautiful about Carl Jung, and his work was he took leaps of faith all the time. He knew there was something tied everybody together in these archetypes, these kind of pantheonic identities lingered within everyone. And he was right. And his work was monumental to the game of philosophy, psychology, and social understanding. So much so that from his time to our time now, everything changed drastically. Like, so drastically that it's almost as if his work was directly used against its purpose. You know? digress. Let's move on. Today's card. The Nine of Cups. Happiness. Alright. Nine of Cups upright. Known as the Wish card, the Nine of Cups symbolizes deep appreciation and contentment. The Fool has found the peace that comes from having all her needs and desires met. After the emotional upheavals of the Cups, she has finally reached a calm satisfaction that allows her to enjoy her surroundings. Happiness is fleeting, but that knowledge only makes the present sweeter. Reversed. The Fool has everything that she could have wished for. She could not have imagined a better outcome. But something does not feel right. She can't quite articulate why. But she feels emptiness. In her quest for happiness, she may have desired external markers of success, allowing status to dictate what she could pursue instead of allowing her heart to speak. And that is beautiful. You see, the Nine of Cups is like it's like winning a championship game, but no one saw it. In reverse. Nine of Cups upright. Everyone saw it. And no one congratulating you. But that doesn't bother you one bit. The Nine of Cups is internal happiness. It is being comfortable with your choices and all that you have done. Understanding and literally happy about it. I mean, I know we've all felt that energy. So, let's move on to the angelic realm. Father, guide me. Okay. Bath Cool. Bath Cool is associated with Judaism. And Bath Cool will help you find forgiveness, improve your singing, speak with greater clarity, decide what you want to create, see the possibilities your future contains, and deepen your ability to love. Bath Cool. Let's move on to the demonic realm. Bewitchment and witchcraft. Witches and fairies have the magical ability to bewitch people and animals, and to blight crops and health. In Irish lore, the Tuath de Danann took revenge upon the mill by blighting wheat crops and spoiling milk. When Christian elements entered fairy lore, it became customary to dip a thumb in fresh milk and make the sign of the cross to ward off fairies. If a person insults or displeases fairies, they have the power to transform him into a beast, a stone, or something else in nature. Bewitched and fairy-possessed people and animals who act strangely sickening or fall into trances or even seizures are called fairy-struck or elf-shot. The later term refers to the invisible arrows shot into people and animals. Fairies teach witches their magical lore and casting of spells. I did not know that, but that's cool. Remember, these things, you don't have to believe them. They're up for your interpretation. You be the judge. But in my opinion, everything stems from a truth. So regardless, there's no boulder I won't look under. Till next time, you guys take it easy.